The first expansion, like once you got, because I think you quit in there for a little bit too, in Burning Crusade.
I did. I quit at the end of Burning Crusade. Yeah, I got to I'm going to play till I'm level 70, and then I remember being online, and I was like, level 70, peace out, and I logged off, and it was done.
Because that's when I started raiding then, and actually doing the end game content is when you weren't on anymore, and that's a whole new, a whole nother level of addiction, I guess. There, just the you get into a good guild and stuff, and you just spend hours just attempting to kill the same boss over and over again because you want to progress. I think Burning Crusade was probably my favorite as far as the actual expansion. Wrath of the Lich King, was a close second.
I think the lore in Lich King was really cool. That part that they added was really neat.
And then they added the achievements too, so that took over everything too when they added achievements, because I became an achievement hoarder and went through and did as many as I could.
And then Cataclysm was their attempt at restructuring the whole game, right? They try, a beast destroys the overworld and Azeroth and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think that's the one where you could actually fly in the old world. Really implemented that, I think.
Which is a huge improvement, because the fact that mounts, for anyone who doesn't play, a flying mount, so you could travel faster, was only available on Outland up till that point, right? So 90% of the game you couldn't travel the fastest method available to you.
Oh yeah, Outland and Burning Crusade, Burning Crusade and Lich King, you could do flying mounts. And then when Cataclysm came out, they opened it up to the whole world.
Yeah.
But they destroyed some of the favorite areas, you got playing on Horde.
Crossroads.
You got Crossroads and the Barrens, which
that's tragic. Crossroad was the coolest spot to hang out for 10 levels.
And that's kind of when you talk vanilla WoW servers now, that's kind of the before and after, right?
Right. Yeah, and there's still people doing that. In fact, Justin, you're still occasionally active on a server that's up to Burning Crusade, right?
Yeah. Burning Crusade is the one that I'm on. I also have another one where it's Wrath of the Lich King too, but that I play on, but I haven't played on either one for a little while because Destiny 2 stole my time.
Yeah.
And
I probably haven't played it since 2009, maybe, was the last time I came back. I came back in for Lich King. I got excited about it again, and then I just realized some of why I hated it and got back out. But I still, I look back fondly. There's so many memories and, I don't know. It just feels, there's something about that feels very real, more so than any other game. There are certain games that connect with you in a way that, personally feel like they affect you, but that game in particular still, there's some great things, besides my wife raging on me. I can remember a Saturday night, Justin and I, arranging a pub or a pug group where you just pick up random people, fill out a dungeon run, and we did that, and Justin and I had been drinking, and it was probably 2 a.m, and we get to the end of this dungeon run. We'd successfully completed it with these 3 other strangers, and there was a chest. There's a chest at the end of this thing, and you need someone with lockpicking ability to unlock it so everybody can get the loot and share it, and that was Justin. And Justin's character was just running into a wall endlessly. Justin passed out at the end of this 3-hour dungeon run with these random strangers. And I was like, hold on, everybody. I know him in real life. I got this. I'm going to call him. He doesn't answer. He's not picking up. So we just wasted 3 hours with these random people. It was pretty hilarious. to be honest.
That's great.
One of the better
And then
moments.
like there was that other guy too. So this was like early on, like Justin and I don't know.
Bag.
It might have been our first. It was maybe our first characters. We had this guy we called Bag. I think his name was like Be Aggressive or whatever. We picked him up like early on in like our first run through the game, and he would just hop on and play with us occasionally and run around with us. And like he was kind of a putz too. Like he would like ninja stuff. So like you'd kill a high level enemy and like run in and take the loot before you could get it. Kind of a like dick. But anyway.
Oh wait, so there was loot that was. It wasn't instanced on each of your screens?
Occasionally that could happen with certain stuff.
Wow.
Anything
Like
that dropped.
you could be the first
it
one to
was-
like skin high level characters and
Yeah, like loot that dropped, it was open to everybody, so you'd have a greed or need feature.
Yeah.
And typically when you're in a party, you just greed, unless you absolutely need it. This guy would just need everything.
And he would like run over and like loot like the highest leveled enemies before you could like get like certain materials and anyway we're like running around with him and he was kind of obnoxious, but like we played with him, he was okay, but we'd like one-on-one chat. Like this was still before the video or like the audio came in, or like Vent was popular, so you'd hit like Control R is to like reply to the last person you like private messaged. Well, we invited him to our party and we're like running around. Then like some random person is just like bopping around. He was an invite to our party, and he just like randomly invites this other dude. So then I Control R to reply to Justin, I thought, not realizing that I had last private messaged this Bag guy. And I was like, derp, my name's Bag. I'm a fucking idiot and I just invite anyone. Derp. And then like I'm wondering why Justin's not replying. And then, like 2 minutes later, this guy's like, dude, I just play with you guys because like you guys know where to go and stuff. I was like, oh, ha ha ha, that was a joke. Log off. And this guy never played with us again. Like I felt so bad.
The best
But it
part
was
about that too,
hilarious.
like even now, every once in a while, it's just like one of those stupid moments. It's like, hey, don't be a bag, and everybody else thinks that we're douchebag or something. But no, we're talking about this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
Be aggressive, and if you're listening, feel free
Which you
to
aren't.
feel free to send us a message or something.
Yes. Yeah, how's it been going? Be aggressive. How's life? Yeah. I don't know. So I mean, I guess that's where I sit on WoW. Like, I mean, I look back on it fondly. Like, I just, it's not the game for me anymore. But like, man, I have a lot of great memories there and like lasting friendships out of that deal. So, I mean, I don't know if Justin and I would still be buddies this many years later if we hadn't like started our gaming addiction through that and continued to play games like through the years.
No, we wouldn't.
Yeah. Plus, I'm kind of a douche. So.
It's pretty crazy though. Like, I have so many people that I met through WoW that I actually still talk to through, Facebook or even text messages. Just good friends now. Like, it's kind of crazy. People you don't actually know, but
you know them because you
But you
ran
know
that
them.
raid together, and you know what I mean? Yeah.
well, yeah, like a bunch of them I spent, 2 to 3 years every day,
Right.
6 hours a day, if not more. Like,
Do you think that'll ever be replicated again? Like
this
that type of atmosphere?
No, I don't.
Not for me.
I don't.
There might be other people that have experiences like that with like there might be kids now, like early 20 kids doing the same thing with Destiny 2, but like for me, I don't think I'll ever have a game that pulls me in like that, in that way.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess in that way. For me, no. It's possible other games. I don't know what could hold as much as what World of Warcraft ever did. Like in the future, I still like World of Warcraft is still a huge game.
Oh yeah.
So I don't.
Yeah, we're coming up on almost 20 years, right? That game came out in 2005.
Yeah, it came out 2004.
Oh God, that's sick.
Wasn't that 2004?
That might be.
Yeah,
At least
That
it's
sounds about right. Yeah, I think it was before
yeah,
Xbox.
it was November 23rd,
360 came out.
2004. So, 15
Yeah,
years.
wow. And it still's got like at least 5 million people, right? Something like that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say it's
Well,
True.
Blizzard said they're going to continue rolling out content through 2012. Like, that was their minimum. Or not 2012, 2020. 2012 happened.
They beat that. I guess, I don't know.
You think there's anybody new?
I'm sure there is, just because they have the promotions, and still you see advertisements like crazy now that I have TV again. I do.
Really? They're still putting ads out, huh?
Yeah, you still see ads for the expansions and stuff. Well, what's the last one? Legion? Ads were all over the place for that one. I never actually played that one. I quit in Cataclysm when they did the update for Mists. I had pre-ordered Mist of Pandaria, and they did the update to get, pre-patch, whatever, be ready for the release of it in, I don't know, like a month before it released. And whenever I would try to play the game, then it would crash my computer. So I never actually picked up my pre-order because I only put $5 on it. So hopefully GameStop still has it.
Better call them. I'm sure it's sitting there somewhere.
No, I heard Legion though is actually really good for gameplay, but I'm not going to try it.
Any idea what the level cap is now? Have they breached
110, 115, I think it's 110.
That's disgusting.
I'm sure the early ones you just burn through like real quick now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
I remember going through Burning Crusade. The leveling on that so slow. What is it, 69 to 70? Just stupid amount of time. My first character, I hit 69. I was like, I am not quitting until I hit 70. I hit 70 and then I went to work. Like,
Wow.
I literally spent like 8 hours, 6 hours, whatever it was, to hit 70.
And you were 5 hours late to work.
It's like, I'm not going to bed till I get this.
Yeah. That is true, though. Like, those last 10 levels were, like, almost a third of your entire gameplay.
Yeah. So have they made it like look better? Like, do the minimum requirements like update after each one?
Yeah. I'm not even sure what Legion requires, but when Wrath of the Lich King came out, I had to get a new computer because when I was playing Burning Crusade, couldn't handle most of the places that you had to go in Wrath. Like, I'd load into Dalaran, which is the major city in, what is it, Northrend, I think it was called. So the new expansion is the main city that everybody would focus on.
Oh,
You'd
yeah, that
load
was a
in there,
beast.
and it would take me about 2 minutes before I could start seeing people. So when I loaded in, I had to turn, because you always loaded in the exact same way when you took the portal. So I knew I had to hold right. It was like half a second or whatever, and then just push straight forward until I was facing a wall, and just like zoomed all the way into the wall. So stuff would load, otherwise it would crash my computer. I do that every time. And so I ended up getting a new computer because couldn't handle it. But yeah, level requirements go up each time, or like spec requirements do. I don't think any computer I have right now could handle anything that's out now for Legion.
Well, that's good, though. It keeps you away from the crack that is World of Warcraft.
So much fun.
It's kind of funny how like MMOs are dead. The MMO RPG PC versions are kind of dead. Like, even Blizzard tried to make another one, and they're like, it's not going to happen. And I don't think anybody's really making one anymore. Not that I know of, or on a huge scale anyway.
Seems like every attempt goes
but-
like free to play because like they just can't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
But they've kind of taken this model, and Destiny 2 is basically an MMO, just on a different genre.
Yeah,
Basically,
it's as close
yeah.
as we're gonna get now, like a successful variant of it, I think.
Yeah, and as you continue, like these games as a service type of games that we were talking about earlier, I think a lot of them are going to start going this route. Little small expansions, maybe small content updates on a living, breathing game that they build. I don't know. I don't think a subscription monthly fee is viable anymore. Not for a console game. I don't think they could pull that off. That would probably end in a revolt. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't think
Maybe if it's good enough.
console could do that. There's only a couple that did that, weren't there, on console?
Yeah, didn't Elder Scrolls try that, and then they went free?
Yeah, and then
there was one before it too. I can't.
Final Fantasy, did they?
Yes.
There's like a DC Universe one. That one did it for a while, I think, too.
Yeah, nobody's pulled it off. I still wait for the day too that when they eventually turn World of Warcraft into free to play, which probably won't happen until they stop putting out expansions for it. But like, I mean, as a company who's got like these people who have sunk 20 years into a game, like when the alternative is just simply shut it off and like end that world for those people, like I think eventually it'll have to move to free to play where they just like, look, we're not updating it, we're not patching it. This is like, these servers will stay alive, but here's where it is. I think like eventually the game hopefully will reach that status.
Right. And it probably wouldn't even be worth like overhauling the business model to really make it as a successful free to play game. It's more of like a,
right. Well, I mean,
this thing is just pretty much as a legacy thing. Here you go.
Yeah. And I mean, they already have like paid auctions and stuff in the game. So like they could probably just keep the lights on and that thing taking their cut of like the auction house fees and stuff realistically.
Yeah.
I don't think that game, like as long as they have, over 1 million people playing, it'll never go to free to play, I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of MMOs that dreamed of just that number to start,
Yeah, and we're talking about a game that had like 10 million concurrent subscribers at its peak. I mean, 12 million maybe. Yeah. Around the Lynch King Burning Crusade height. I mean, it's insane the amount of draw that a game like this has had.
The biggest downturn to me, I guess, was just the changes that they kept doing, and it just made it simpler. Like back in Burning Crusade and Wrath even kind of started, but in BC, like, you actually had to know your character to play it well. And if you didn't know your character, you more than likely would be kicked from any raids. Like, you have to be able to actually perform as your character and know what you're supposed to do, not just push one button like they do. Like at the end of Cataclysm, I had actually completely switched my main character, and I think I played Priest mainly then. But there was really only like a rotation. It was 3 buttons. That's all you did was over and over again.
So you think it's because Leroy Jenkins got incredibly popular and everybody wanted to do that, so they had to make it easy?
Probably.
I think they had to do that just to keep the barrier of entry like there for like newcomers, but it just kind of like soured the veterans because it's just like, man, like, the whole back in my day we used to walk to school through 10 feet of snow uphill both ways. Like, I mean, that's kind of like the sentiment like I felt as a player. It was like, man, I had to do all this shit to get there. Now this new person just did it by hitting a level cap and it was gifted to them, It's like I had to go on this roundabout goose chase to like 4 different quests and defeat this guy to get my bear form, but now it's just, you got it at level 10, like go to hell. That's dumb.
See, my biggest thing was the whole mount stuff. Like, originally, what was it, like 40? You got your mount?
Yeah. Well, and like the
I don't
price point to
remember.
buy it like seemed like, oh my god, that's insane.
Yeah, and now, like, I'm sure they probably now start with a mount. Like, here, level 1, go ride this horse. Like, I don't know.
Some of the enjoyment
the-
came from earning it, and like because it was a challenge and the grind, and when you take that away, it just becomes worthless.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's like anything in life, you know. If you don't have to work for it, does it really hold value?
Yep. So what you're saying is, WoW just kind of turned into communism.
Yes.
It's a game for fascists.
We boil it down to the essence.